So I was just reflecting on why it is actually important for us to have a Dharma practice. We might live for our passions, we might live for our jobs, all sorts of things. Right? We might live for our family, might live for certain hobbies that we have. I was having a chat with, I just started yoga recently, so my yoga instructor, she injured her knee. And her whole life was all about sports. And she said she felt really, really depressed because she couldn't do anything. Her job was in sports, her lifestyle, her activity is just in sports. And she felt really depressed and distraught. So I was really reflecting on this, and it's actually very lucky and fortunate for us to have a Dharma practice. If we break a knee, we can still look inward, we can still meditate, we can still lie down and meditate. We lose a few limbs, our minds are still here for us to practice. Even if we become blind, we can still hear the teachings. We can still practice. We can even chant if you want to. And even if you lose your sense of hearing, you can still read text from whichever teacher resonates with you. We can go on practicing. And it's very important for us to value and honor all our senses that we have. They are functioning very well right now. That is giving us the opportunity not just to practice, but to be in touch with teachings. Whether it is to read or to listen. And we still have our minds. Our brains are still functioning very well because we do not suffer from any brain damage. So it is a brilliant opportunity not just to focus on our cultivation, but to absorb whatever spiritual knowledge, Dharma, wisdom that we have. That if one day something happens to us or to any of our senses, we will be able to go inward and have that sense of gratitude that we did not waste our time. We did not waste our healthy senses that have allowed us to be in touch with teachings, to practice, so that we can continue going inward. And therefore, the Buddha said, there's no greater treasure in the world other than the triple gems, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So sometimes we might take things for granted. Shok was sharing recently that she saw her practice making a lot of progress recently. And she reflected and was talking to her that it's because she finally had a fixed date of when she's going to migrate. And she felt that she's going to lose the opportunity to have the comfort of being in the same time zone for us to come and practice on Wednesdays. And that's why she put in so much effort to come physically all the time. And then she started valuing the Sangha, she started valuing her practice. And that's what allowed her to make so much progress. Life is funny, right? Sometimes it takes for us to have a sense of loss before we start to value and cherish the things that we have, before we start to maximize whatever is in front of us. So I see that this is something very important for us to reflect on, that now we are healthy. Sometimes we may take things for granted. We think that our teacher is always going to be around, our community is always going to be around. We think that our eyes, our ears are always going to be around, that, oh, there's a Dharma book that someone sent me, an article someone sent me, I'll just save it somewhere, I'll read it when I have time. There's a meaningful talk or course, I'll wait till I have time, because they are all digital right now. So, as much as we want to have a healthy, balanced life, we also want to have play, we want to have fun. We also need to introspect. Are we making full use of our senses to be in touch with Dharma? Because if you were to lose everything one day, or any of our senses, that is the only refuge that we have left, which is the Dharma. See, if you were to lose your eyes, you were to lose your ears. But Dharma is still within you, it's still in your memory. You know how to practice, you know how to contemplate, you will know how to work with that. Without that Dharma, you won't be able to know how to enjoy the presence of your loved ones because you're already blind and deaf at that point of time. But that's how the Dharma has always been nourishing our lives, just that we might not see it clearly. So tonight, hope that we are sitting here, we can remind ourselves that we're taking this opportunity of having healthy senses, healthy mental faculties that's allowing us to be here, to continue our practice. And that is why when we chant, we say, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, is to take refuge in the three jewels or the three projects, depending on the translation. And that's why it is the highest treasure that we can have.